Hello and welcome to another episode of the Inside Athletic podcast, the official club podcast of Dunfermline Athletic Football Club. I'm one of your hosts, Logan, back, and once again, I'm joined by Ricki Lord. Ricki, a special week ahead. You must be looking forward to the week's events that will come at the weekend.
Yeah, I just want it to be Saturday, 3 o'clock, Logan. I'm sure you're the same. This has been the slowest week. We're recording this on Tuesday night. And yeah, I'm counting the days and hours down to the cup final. I can't believe we're saying that we're looking forward to a cup final on Saturday. It's really, really exciting, mate. How are you feeling?
Yeah, good. It's been a busy few weeks at the football club. We'll get on to why in a few minutes' time. But yeah, the nerves are kicking in. I think it's been over a month since the semi-final now. I can't admit I'm not as nervous as I was for the semi-final, but yeah, we'll see how it goes, and we'll get into our thoughts and feelings soon. So, just a quick run through what we're going to be talking about just before we speak to our special guest of the day. So, we'll be chatting about the recent playoff games against Arbroath and Partick Thistle, talking about the club shop and the successes that the club's had within there. Pars Plus, a new initiative that the club have set up through Locker Room for season ticket holders, anybody who wants to join that. The Be Part of It campaign for the Scottish Cup final, several different initiatives set out by the football club for the community and wider things. Contract extensions at the football club. Four players have signed contract extensions, and great to see the lads sign on. And then finally, before we speak to our special guest, Chris Kane, a cup double winner previously with St Johnstone, and now looking to get another trophy to add to his career. Me and Ricki will be chatting about the cup final against Celtic. Ricki, we'll start off with those playoff games. We'll begin with the Arbroath game, or both legs really. A 1-0 win on aggregate and a tricky ties against Arbroath, but one we managed to get through in the end.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, was it? It was a bit of a battle. I was going to say all three games, considering the last game of the season, but there wasn't much between the sides. But I think that was quite a real test for us. Different maybe type of football from what we've been playing over the last sort of quarter of the season. But we got through it, and obviously that was the main thing. Chris's goal being really important. I felt the first leg when we scored fairly early in the game, you really wanted to go on and win that, maybe 2 or 3 nil, and we never really got there. Arbroath changed things in the second half and sort of and matched us, I think, Logan. And then the second game wasn't pretty on the for the neutrals watching on Friday night BBC Scotland. I don't think they got served up a classic, but for us that were there, I think we were all kicking every ball. But yeah, it was a slog. We got through it. That was all that mattered. Ox's penalty save. I don't know about you, Logan, but I was celebrating that as if it was a goal. So it was, yeah, it was a good night, and I think it was one that we probably deserved before heading into the Thistle game over the last week or so. What about you? What was your kind of thoughts over the 120?
Yeah, I think we got
120?
obviously.
How many
Sorry.
minutes were in two games? 180.
180, yeah. I think we obviously got a taster of what Arbroath will play like on the Friday night previously to the playoffs, where although we fielded a different team to what played in the playoffs, they sort of had a lot of their first team players playing with a few exceptions in that last game of the season. So we kind of got a taster of a few of their players that are obviously playing them so many times this season already. So we knew what Arbroath were all about. We know that Gayfield's a tough place to go, and I think getting that goal crucial early on in that first leg was great. We probably should have pushed on and got more in that first
Yeah.
half. They did come into the more in the second half of that first leg, and then the second leg. I think Arbroath started that game well. I think Scott Robertson had a shot cleared off the line by Jeremiah, and then as the game just thought the game was going to peter out, the penalty happens, and I'm thinking this is typical. This is going to go extra time, but no, Aston does what he does best and came up when it mattered for that penalty save, and I think he just knew at that point that it was going to be our night.
Just as well, I didn't go to extra time because I wouldn't have been able to do the maths on how many minutes that would have been if it was an extra time as well. But I thought that was a good result. I think we were all kind of fairly confident. I don't want to speak on behalf of all Pals fans, but I think we all felt that we had enough to get by Arbroath. But Partick Thistle were maybe going to give us a sterner test. We've not managed to beat them this season, and th- I don't know about you, but at the start of the season, I didn't think Thistle were going to be much of a threat at the top half of the league, and I think they've done really well. Their form at Firhill this year, they've not lost all season at home, so fair play to Thistle. It'll be interesting to see how they get on against St Mirren in the playoff final. But again, the bit of a cagey first game. Uh, you know, the goal, great to get the goal, and then within a couple of seconds being back level, it kind of summed that one up. In that game, maybe petered out a bit. What about you for maybe the second leg, Logan? What was your kind of overall? Again, we're going up. You kind of love to hang on to it.
Yeah, similar to that Arbo first leg, I thought we created a lot of chances in that first half at Firhill. I think Callum Morrison had a sort of half volley going into the
Yeah,
box where he's been unlucky with that chance. I think there was a few other chances where I'm thinking, oh, that,
we're
unlucky
going to
with that
regret
one. And
this.
then
Yeah,
we get our goal, Charlie, great finish. I thought that obviously Charlie's been excellent all season, as the manager said, and a really good finish from him. And yeah, I think first half we were certainly the better team. Thistle were always going to come out the second half shooting towards their own supporters. That they were always going to come out and firing basically, and that's what they did. Uh, Unfortunate equaliser to say the least. Obviously, Billy's tried to clear the ball and it's been unlucky. So, and then the second goal was a good header from Samuel. So, and then I think Tony Watt changed the game coming off the bench. I was impressed by him as well. So, Thistle
I
had
kind
a
of felt
great
like we were huffing and puffing a little bit
yeah.
towards the end of that. I don't know if it was maybe the amount of games that we've played. We have played pretty much Tuesday, Saturday for the last 6 or 7 weeks, barring a week or two in the middle there. So it kind of felt like towards the end, I don't see us scoring here, and I don't know if our schedule had something to do with that. But I saw that we're all cheering the players off the pitch. I think this season, if you'd been offered semi-finals playoff and a Scottish Cup final at the start of the season, we would have all taken that, and it was great to see the players getting a good reception as they walked off.
Yeah, I think they deserve it as well. I think certainly since post January, it's been a really memorable 5 months or so, and they've put a lot of effort into it, and they've put a lot of hard work into the work that we've done, not just in the league but in the cup run as well. So certainly been a memorable league campaign. We'll go again next year, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's the real positive for me is how strongly we finished the season and thinking about how that bleeds into next season. And when you look at the team, Livingston have come down and obviously they'll have parachute payments and we don't know who else is going to be in the league. Stenhousemuir coming up. I think all things are pointing towards Dunfermline having a good chance at the top end of the table next year. So don't want to get ahead of myself because we might have Europe to deal with and that will take out a few of that'll give us a few tired legs in there as well. But yeah, I think there's absolutely positive sign that the club that next season will be another special one.
I love how you said let's not get too ahead of ourselves and then mentioning Europe, but we'll move on. Move on just a bit about the club shop. Me myself, I do a lot of work in that club shop, and it's been very hectic over the last few weeks. 15,000 tickets sold for the cup final now. So hoping to maybe reach that sellout stage of just under 17,000. We've sold out merch and kits within the shop, so the shop is looking bare, but we're trying to get stock in all the time for that. And hopefully everybody can get a bit of merchandise for what will be a special day. We have had t-shirts, polo shirts, scarves, bucket hats, mugs. So there's plenty of merchandise to go around. And yeah, Ricky, how good is it to see that the club shop, especially, is thriving? And it's a busy period for the club because it will generate a bit of cash for the club as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant to see, the amount of folk that are excited. Ticket sales are the start of it, but the amount of folk that this will hopefully bring to the club moving forward. On that, Logan, I know sort of from conversations we had that it's been a bit of a stressful time. It is a small team that work at KDM Group East End Park, and I've probably been guilty of that in the past as well, thinking that we've got masses and massive of club employees doing all sorts. But I know you guys are literally all hands on deck at the moment. So yeah, no, I know it can't be easy, but you are doing a great job, and it's been all fairly last minute as well. So well done to you guys. But no, in terms of going forward and seeing the club shop busy, and you guys will be seeing kids coming in asking for pals shirts, and hopefully that'll bring a whole new generation of support to our club.
With this busy period, it'll be after the cup final, it'll be season tickets to start. So that'll be
It never
a
ends.
great
It never ends.
great time for us. Yeah, it never ends. We might get a little break, but season tickets stuff will be announced in due course. Moving on, so we've got the just a wee bit on the Pars Plus initiative. It's a new initiative set up by a company called Locker Room. So basically, it gives season ticket holders the chance to get discounts for not only local businesses, but some worldwide businesses as well. So the likes of Nike, uh, Costa, H&M, Asda, Tesco. There's many discounts that's on there. If you're a season ticket holder or want to sign up as a Pars fan but don't have a season ticket, all the information is on the club website to be able to sign up to that. There's some great deals on there, and yeah, any sort of discounts you can get, it benefits everybody.
Absolutely. One thing I'm really proud of the club over the last few weeks has been the Be Part of It campaign, Logan. So I saw that getting launched. Immediately, my eyes lit up when I saw that we could print stuff off and colour it in. The 10-year-old inside me thought, yes, this is my time to shine. So, um, I think it's a great initiative. I've seen the club's been tweeting out and sort of putting out on their socials some of the entries. I didn't end up doing one. I was really tempted to do a submitted by Ricky Lord, age 37 from Glasgow, but I decided against it. But my wee girl's been right into it. My older girl who's 15, everything I suggest she does is cringe at the minute, so she's not taking part. I'm sure that resonates with a few other fans, but that's the kind of stuff that makes you proud to be a Pals fan, isn't it? Seeing stuff like that, the shops in Dunfermline dressing their windows up and having the strips in the window and the Scottish Cups wrapped in tin foil. That's what Cup final weekend should be all about. And I think on a slightly more poignant note, the Always With Us campaign is, I've seen a few comments online about how much that has meant to a lot of fans, and having that opportunity to submit pictures of those who are Pars fans who are maybe no longer with us and missing the cup final. So again, props to the club for doing that campaign. I think it's really special and something for everyone in all ages there.
Yeah, that last bit there, I think it will be special for a lot of people to see their families' photos within the for the players to see it as well, but just before the game and things like that to build them up for what it means this sort of
Yeah,
game to the club and to the fans. So yeah, a special thing that the club have done for that. And props to props to the guys who have organised it within the club. Just on that colouring in sheet, Ricky. So what you're trying to tell me, I think, is that you've drawn it yourself and you've submitted it under your daughter's name, is what you're trying to tell me.
if you saw the attempt, you'd probably think that. I mean, I couldn't do as good as what she has, and she's 6. So I mean, I'm an absolute monster at art. So no, my submission. I don't know. There's still time. I might get the colour and the crayons out after this and get a last minute submission. But yes, I'd encourage everyone, all ages, to get your submissions into the club as soon as possible.
We'll move on. There was 4 contract extensions over the last few weeks. We'll start with the some of the younger players. Lucas Fife to begin with has been for the last couple of months. He's been involved heavily within the first team, many substitute appearances and some starting appearances as well. With a goal in there as well against Airdrie. So Lucas has done really well and deservedly gets a new contract.
Yep, I think Lucas has probably been pushed into the first team a bit by surprise, probably from his own admission. He wasn't expecting to be starting or coming featuring for the first team this season, but that's by no coincidence. The fact that he's got the talent to be in there. we know he's still raw. We can see that in his performances, but we can see that he's got loads of energy. He's really strong as well, and he's giving defenders a hard time. I'm thinking to the semi final against Falkirk, he really bullied their centre halves, and certainly for that chance that the goalie did well to save. So yeah, great to see another young product coming through the ranks, getting first team game time at Dunfermline, and signing on for another few years.
And then we've got Jake Sutherland and Freddie Rowe, two players who have been out on loan this season. Freddie at East Fife and Jake at Forfar. Certainly for Jake, he had a very successful loan spell at Forfar, highly thought of there, and scored a decent amount of goals as well. Freddie managed to stay up in League One with East Fife as well under an experienced manager in Dick Campbell. So two successful loan spells, I would say, for their players and two exciting prospects on our hands.
Yeah, absolutely. And similar sort of story to Lucas Fife, just seeing another few bodies coming off the Dunfermline Youth Academy training conveyor belt that we seem to have now over the last few years. But I can't. I must admit, I've not seen a huge amount of Freddie Rose, so I couldn't comment too much on him. But I've seen Jake play a couple of times, more so when had the reserve league a couple of seasons ago, and was always impressed. As a striker, he knows where the goal is, which is a good starting point. So anyone who's playing well and scoring goals will go far for a team like us. So yeah, brilliant to see the two of them signed up. And in terms of contract extensions, I'm sure there'll be a few more to come over the coming weeks as well, Logan. But the main one, I think, that we're all really excited about, and who's our guest today is Chris Kane. And I think it kind of came out of the blue just before the second leg of that game. Gives a bit of a good feel going into that game, that Chris had agreed a 1 year contract extension.
Yeah, I think it was deservedly so as well after his form, particularly post January. I think we've seen how crucial he was last season to the team, scoring many crucial goals, and managing to keep us in the league. This season, there's been more competition for spaces, I would say, in that striking department. But certainly since the turn of the year, he's been excellent. And certainly in our cup run, in our league form as well, scoring some good goals as well. So happy that Chris is staying on. And yeah, we'll be chatting to him later on about his career both at St Johnstone and now at the Pars.
Yeah, let's talk about it then. Cup final preview, Logan. Biggest probably game. I know you're a bit younger. Were you there for the last cup final of 2007? I should say. Were you a bit too
I was
young?
only three, so
Oh my God.
yeah, I was not
Yeah,
there.
thanks for that.
Yeah, yeah. So I was not there. So this game means a lot to myself. And yeah, it's going to be a tough one, but yeah, we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, what's your thoughts then? Because I'm currently flipping between, we're going to get scudded 5-0, and yeah, we're going to win it. And I don't really know. There's probably somewhere in between that I should be landing, but depending on the hour of the day, I'm flip flopping between the two. Where's your head at?
Yeah, I think obviously with the opposition at hand, it's difficult not to not to think that obviously that Celtic they've just won the league title over Hearts at the weekend there, and they've won this competition so many times, and even against the odds, they've won this competition or won the league at times. So yeah, there's no doubt it'll be a very very tough task, but so was Aberdeen, so was Hibs, and so was
Absolutely.
Falkirk. So they were very really tough tasks for us, and we managed to come over them. So um, yeah, I think everybody's looking forward to the occasion. Certainly fans have came from overseas and down south or all over the world to come watch this game and to come support the team. Um, but yeah, I think the head and heart are saying different things at
Yeah,
at the
I'm the
moment.
same. Yeah.
But
Well, if I'm
hopefully,
going with my heart, which I like to do, I think there's no other manager I don't think in Scotland that I would rather have in my dugout than Neil Lennon against Celtic in the Scottish Cup final. He'll know the team probably better than maybe they know themselves at points. The fact that he studies them and does a lot of punditry work uh, for the TV on Celtic games, I think works in our favour as well. the fact that our players have actually had a bit of a rest, and we maybe don't have that the playoff final hanging over us for the week post the cup final. I think although we would have loved to go into the playoff final, I think that will now benefit us from a cup final perspective. That the players know this is all or nothing. They're not playing with fear of injury or anything like that. It's this is the last game of the season. Let's give it a go. And yeah, the fact that there's going to be near 17,000 Pals fans there rolling them on, and I know we'll be outmatched, not outmatched, outnumbered, but that kind of support can do nothing but help you play your best game. So yeah, with my heart truly speaking for me, I think we're well in a good position to nick it. And even like you said, the previous games, we've had a very clear plan against the Premiership teams that we've beaten this season, and it's worked every time. So I don't think we'll have the exact same plan for every team, but I think Lennon has that tactical know-how to implement a plan, and I think we've got the players to do it. So yeah, no, I'm feeling really positive, and if you weren't feeling positive about it, you didn't feel like you could go and win the cup, then there would be no point in attending. So I'm sure on come 3 o'clock, once the nerves are settled, we'll all be feeling really positive. Maybe a couple of beers deep, that will maybe help. We'll all be feeling a lot more positive.
Hopefully, a lot more beers after as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, after talking about the cup final, we're going to now chat with Chris Kane about his career, both at St Johnstone, a couple of loans to the Scottish Championship, and then joining the Pars a couple of years ago, and how he's enjoying life at Dunfermline. And now we're joined by Dunfermline Athletic striker Chris Kane. Chris, how we do this evening?
All good, yeah. Had a good couple days training, so yeah, I'm back home relaxing now and ready to go.
So, talk to us, Chris, just first of all. What are your first memories of playing football?
Um, I was always kicking a ball from when I started walking. My dad, and my mum used to tell me I was kicking a ball everywhere. Everywhere I went, I took a ball. And then as I got older, I would go to my mates, go up the park, and like it was the small village that we grew up in. There was always boys playing there, so it wasn't just like your mates. You'd be playing with anyone that was there. Everyone would just kick a ball with each other. So yeah, I would do that growing up, and I think probably one of my most vivid memories was me and my mate was just going up playing long bangers with each other. I think I maybe misplaced a pass, and I went over to some guy and he kicked it back, and then he was asking for it up back and forward, and it ended up being David Gray because he lived in the village I grew up in. So I must have been maybe maybe 7 or 8 year old kicking a ball with David Gray when he was at Man United.
And is that something you've ever spoke to him about since? Reminded him of that?
And now I've never really had the chance to. I doubt he'd remember it, but maybe if I see him again, I'll maybe mention it because it is a wee. Now, obviously, that I've played football all my days now, so it would be something to maybe have a wee chat about, and he'd probably find it funny.
Hopefully, you can emulate
He'll be
something
claiming
that
to
he did in,
kickstart your
in
career.
on Saturday.
I hope so, hope so.
And what about sort of your first sort of clubs and stuff like that? Was it straight into St Johnstone as a kid? That's where you started sort of more club football then?
Um, well, believe it or not, I nearly joined ice hockey before I started football.
Right.
So it was, I was 9, I think I was 9 year old, and my dad was saying you need to like kind of get into an activity and stuff. So I loved football, loved playing it, but I never really like had the chance to join like a boys' club or whatever. So I think my dad was reading the paper and he seen a wee article was asking for like young boys with what to start ice hockey, and I thought like I like going ice skating with my family, and I done that, and I thought I was quite good at it, so I gave it a wee thought, and end up you've read again. He's seen that Bonner Rose under tens, I think it was at the time, were looking for boys, and right away I just thought, yeah, actually I want to do football. So my dad took me along to a wee training session. it was just a wee get together, everyone ran about, play a wee game of football and stuff, and that was it really. I just enjoyed that and kept going back and ended up signing with Born and Grows under 10s, I think it was.
Right. And at that age, did you kind of find yourself in a position at that point? Were you playing up front? Have you always been the striker that we know now?
No, I was a shy boy back then, so I just nestled in at right back and just got the ball and just kicked it forward pretty much. So started at right back and just went through. I was playing right back for a couple of years, filled in at centre half when there was a few injuries and that, and done well. So I was a defender for maybe 3 or 4 years, and then I think we actually signed a right back from, I think it was maybe Hearts, let go someday. So the manager said to me, he's like, listen, like we're going to play a spot at right back, so do you want to try midfield? So I thought, yeah, so I'll go for it. Went to centre mid for a season and scored 62 goals. So I think he went, oh, I think you might actually be a striker. So then he put me up front after that, and that was maybe when I was 14 old. So yeah, started being a striker at 14, and then by 15, St Johnstone came in for me. So I was only really a striker for a year before I signed with St Johnstone.
You done everything but be the goalie, utility man there, Chris.
I did go on goals once, so
Oh, there you go.
20 minutes the last game, the goalie got injured, so jumped in the net and kept a clean sheet.
Done it all, done it all. So at St Johnstone at that point when you were coming through, was there any sort of coaches maybe that listeners would be aware of that helped you develop into the striker? Because you'd just been in that position for a year. I'm sure you were still learning at that age. Was there anyone that was really key to your development?
Um, I was the I was part time for maybe like 6 months. I was just going up every Tuesday and Thursday nights. Um, and then I got the call to go full time, and it was the same coaches from when I was 15 till pretty much I left St Johnstone. So yeah, it was Alec Cleland. He was a coach at 19s, like all the way through. So he was one that took me every day for training, gave me the belief and stuff to push on. And so he was the one. Tommy Campbell, he was the kit man slash head of youth. He was brilliant. He was a very hard man, hard on the boys. Made us do our jobs and everything, but he like that was what you had to do back then, and it kind of gave you that like look, keep you level headed because sometimes some of the boys that come
Bit
in,
of grounding.
yeah, pretty much that. It was good having them in. And then Alistair Stevenson, he came in a bit later, but he was another one that was brilliant with me. Took me aside the first couple of weeks, and he told me like the potential was seen in me, and that was huge coming from him because some of the players that he's coached and brought through has been some big players. So him coming in and saying that to me gave me a right boost of confidence.
And then you made your first team debut against Kilmarnock. What was that feeling like making your first team debut for St Johnstone?
I was delighted, but also absolutely crapping myself. Thankfully we were 2-0 up. I think it was 2-0 up at home to Kelly, and I got the call. I was on the bench maybe a couple of times before that, I think. So I was eager to get on and get that chance. So when I got the call, it was only a couple of minutes at the end of the game, but it just that also gave me that confidence and that belief that I can go on and actually do more because the manager believes in me.
I was looking at your kind of facts and figures before this interview and saw that you'd gone out on loan to Dumbarton and then was at Queen of the South as well. So was that more about just getting minutes in men's football and sort of learning the game, I guess?
Yeah, the first one Dumbarton, I think I was 18, maybe just turned 19, and yeah, it was just to go play the game, get minutes at a good level, and um, yeah, men's football pretty much because I think in 19s it was. I'm not saying it was too easy for me, but I was scoring most weeks, and it wasn't really that much a challenge. So they sent me on loan. Yeah, I was in the championship with Dumbarton, and at the time it was a very good league, lots of big teams in there. So yeah, it was brilliant for me, and I think it helped me massively.
Is that something I'm just interested in our current setup? Obviously we've got quite a lot of young players going out on loan. Is that something that you maybe speak to them about if they're going out on loan, or does it not really work like that? I don't know.
Um, aye, well, you always, because they're still coming in training with us and that, so you speak to them every day. Like I seen wee Jake Sutherland was scoring for fun, so I was obviously going up to him after every time he scores saying, "Well done, how did you play?" and all that. So
Yeah,
you do speak to them, and I wouldn't say I really give them like I wouldn't go and tell them what to do and stuff because it's I'm not there, you know what it's like.
yeah.
But yeah, well, obviously I'll speak to them, see how they're doing, ask them if they think we played well and stuff, and just have wee chats with them.
What about the loan at Dumbarton? Is that the same season that St Johnstone won the Scottish Cup? Was that you sort of missed that one then?
Aye, so yeah, they put me on loan, and at the time I didn't really know much about being cup tied and stuff. Like
Yeah,
obviously I knew, but um, yeah, I think they let me play in the early stages, and we actually got to the quarter final against Aberdeen up at Pittodrie. So played in that. I'm sure it was a 1-0 defeat, but it was a game that we really could have won it with chances at the end to equalise, and I had a massive penalty shout, which kind of wish we'd
you're still
VAR
raging
back
about.
then.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, my dad's more age, and he paused it and showed me the guy cuddling and bringing me down. But yeah, so I played in quarter final, which was huge for me. That was the biggest game that I've played in it in that time at that age. So that was massive. But then obviously St Johnstone went on to win it, and I don't think you could have asked any single person involved with St Johnstone. They didn't think they were going to win it that year, so I think that's why they let me play. And yeah, obviously I miss playing in the final with them.
When your first goal did come for St Johnstone, it seemed to be quite a crucial one there because it helped them secure fourth in the Premiership. Is that right?
Yeah, it was away to Aberdeen again. We had to win to was it fourth we finished then because it got us Europe
Yeah.
anyway. So yeah, we knew it was like a huge game, and at the time I think I played a couple of times before that, but I hadn't not scored yet, so I was desperate to get that goal, and I got the shout to go on, and I just remember as soon as I came on with the goal kick, flicked on, knocked back, and then James McFadden put me through, and I might just run it onto it, and first touch in the box, second touch finished, and oh, like I've watched that goal back so many times because it's one that I'll never forget being my first goal for St Johnstone and how big it was and how much it meant to the fans in the club. It was huge.
And if I get that St Johnstone team at that point, obviously finishing fourth in the league, you name dropped in there playing alongside James McFadden. I'm sure you learned a lot from him. And was that when Tommy Wright was in charge as well? I might be off on my dates, but that sounds about right.
Yeah,
Must
yeah,
have been quite a team to be a part of.
yeah. It was great. It would have been Tommy at the time. But Stephen McLean, he was the one that I played up front most with, and he was huge for me. He'd let me know if I wasn't doing things right. But that helped me massively because he was such a professional and such a winner. He always wanted to win, even if it was in training. You had Stephen Anderson, Dave Mackay, Fraser Wright, all these players, Brian Easton. I was like the back four, and they were all senior players that I looked up to. Just Chris Miller in midfield, he ran the show, and you had David Wotherspoon, just players like that. It was a great team, and just every single one of them was big players that I obviously looked up to coming through the youth, and then I was playing alongside them. Obviously, James McFadden, being in was such a huge name as well. So yeah, I learned so much from that team, and that really pushed me on.
Just how much an influence did the manager Tommy Wright have on your career?
Yeah, he was huge. He was a no nonsense manager as well. He told you straight if you weren't doing things right. Um, he would proper get everything drilled into you proper. It was no nonsense, and that helps you, especially as a young boy. You want to do everything right, and he helped you do that. And when you done stuff well, he was so like he would compliment you everything. If you like, he would tell you when you done things right, and he'd pull you in and talk to you if you needed a wee boost or whatever. So yeah, he was the one that gave me my debut, and obviously I played under him for a good amount of years after that as well. So yeah, he was like my first proper manager, I would say, that I actually played under.
And I think we can't skip by it, but that COVID season where St Johnstone won a double, I think COVID was probably quite a tough season for a lot of football players, a lot of fans, with everything that was going on. But for you personally and for St Johnstone, a really special season, which I'm sure you look back on fondly.
Yeah, it's probably obviously my most enjoyable season in football
Yeah,
because we won so much. The season's not over yet though, so
yeah, that's it. We'll
maybe
top it.
come back to me after that. But no, it was a great season. We had such a strong team as well. It was um, a young team that we all knew what to do, we knew how to play, and I think it showed. We kept pretty much the same core of the team throughout the whole season. Made a few changes when we had to here and there. But yeah, it was. I can't remember how well we started in the league, but obviously the cup runs we went
Yeah,
on
finished
and
strong.
yeah, finished strong, and then we finished fifth in the league that season as well. So it wasn't just the cup double; it was finishing fifth as well. So yeah, I think overall that was an incredible season and something that obviously I'll never forget.
I was going to ask, what's the celebrations like after that cup double? Because so everything was shut. And can't remember what restrictions were in place at that point, but was it kind of simmered down a little bit, muted celebrations, or were you not caring? You're not getting too on the border here.
That's something we'll get in trouble. Nah, to be fair, the League Cup was in, I think it was February, so it was like proper and COVID, everything was shut. Um, but a few of the boys that had travelled in the car school, so we were in the wee bubble, so we were allowed to, but we ended up going.
You were allowed.
We had a wee get together, had a few pints that night, and just took it all in because that was like pretty much first. It was the first cup that I won anyway, first major cup, and um, obviously me, Ali McCann, Callum Booth, Jason Kerr, we were the Edinburgh boys, so we had a wee get together. Us few had a good few beers, but we were in training the next day as well because we had Hamilton away in the league on Tuesday, so we weren't allowed too
Brutal.
many, but we did have a couple of wee pints.
Right, right.
I was just going to mention there after the cup double, obviously you then went on to play Galatasaray. That must have just been a bizarre experience as well, playing there and playing against them.
Yeah, it's incredible to be honest. We got the draw, and we were just thinking like, what chance you got, like really? And then, but we were buzzing. We flew out there. It was obviously right into Istanbul. It's such an incredible city to be in as well. The hotel was amazing. So yeah, we were all buzzing. We went and trained on the pitch. It was actually a different. They were training playing at a different team stadium because they were getting work done on theirs. So we didn't get the full experience, but still a big, massive stadium. And then I think the game came, so you're never expecting to win that game, but we go 1-0 up with a goalie getting sent off, and we're thinking, score this, and you never know, just park the bus kind of and see what happens. But yeah, we went 1-0 up, and I think we had a wee mistake at the back. The left back just kind of hesitated, and the boy nicked in and got the goal to equalise. And then we held in and got the draw over there, which obviously nobody even believed we would get a draw over there. So that just gave us a wee bit extra hope that we could maybe do something at home.
I mean, I can't even imagine what that must have been like. But hopefully, we might get to repeat the feat next season if we win the cup and get into Europe. You might be back at Galatasaray. That might happen. What about at the time? Yeah, coming maybe towards the end of your time at St Johnstone, there was a lot of injuries by the looks of things. From the outside looking in, is that something that really affected you quite badly, or were you kind of unlucky with injuries? I'd be interested to hear.
Um, like the wee calf nails that I get now and again in like the past couple of seasons, I've had them for years. Nobody's been able to get to the bottom of it. So that's probably been the most annoying thing. Um,
Yeah,
we're managing it a lot better now, and touch wood, I've not had it since. the end of December, I think. So I've had a good finish to the season. So hopefully we've maybe got to the bottom of it now, the issues. But yeah, I've had them all through my career, and wee knocks here and there that's kept me out for a few weeks or whatever. But the big injury I got after the cup double, that was the one that really affected me, because I've done my ACL when I was 17, recovered from that absolutely fine. And then this one I got, it was on the same knee. So I maybe thought that affected it a bit more, but it should have been a simple fix and maybe back playing 4 or 5 months after. But still, it was like 9 months later, I still couldn't cycle a bike, couldn't jog, couldn't do anything. So that really got to me. So I ended up missing the whole half of that season. And then I was hoping I'd get back for the pre-season the season after. And then I missed pretty much that whole season as well, because I just wouldn't get better. I went for more operations, cleanups, checkups, scans, went down to London to see specialists, and nobody knew why it wasn't. Like it looked okay on the scans and stuff, but obviously like, I knew myself it was too sore to jog and stuff. And so yeah, that was, I think it was maybe 18 months all in roughly. That I was out for, but at that time I was really struggling. I was on the job website looking at jobs, thinking my football career's over. Um, we just had our baby at the same time as well, so I was thinking like I need a job to supply for my family.
Yeah.
So I was panicking. I was in quite a dark place, to be honest. It was hard for me. Luckily, I had my friends and family around me, and everyone at St Johnstone as well. They were great with me, because they were just giving me that time and the arm around the shoulder pretty much to keep me going, and it did help. And I ended up just, I think I got to a stage where I was like, I need to try and push through this and get back. And thankfully I did. I got back playing and proved that I could. I was still fit and able to play. And what I really thought was, because I honestly thought my football career was over. I think it was maybe 28-year-old or something.
Yeah, it's fine, and thanks for sharing that. It's, I think sometimes as fans we maybe forget that the human element of players getting injured and go, oh, that's him out for 6 weeks or that's him out for the season, and forget the kind of impact that has on friends and family. So no, thanks for sharing, Chris. On to a more happier topic then, and maybe a bit brighter. You joined Dunfermline on loan. How did that kind of come about? Was that a whisper from your agent that we were interested in you and just get you back playing?
Yeah, so I think it was Craig Levine and Andy Kirk came in to St John's at the time. I think it was when Stephen McLean got sacked. Um, so yeah, I was playing, maybe I got back fit and I played maybe five 5 to 10 games before Craig Levine came in. So maybe it just wasn't quite enough to prove how that I'm back and I can be fit or whatever. So he ended up bringing a couple of boys in who done really well for St Johnstone. That's Sidibe and Kimpioka, Benji Kimpioka. So they've done really well for them. So I can't really hold much of a grudge here, because they done well for the club. But yeah, I wasn't really going to play much, so I said to him like, listen, I'd like to go on loan to either prove to you that I'm fit enough to keep playing, or prove to another team that I'm fit, because I've not played much football in the past 2 years. So he was clearly, he was fine with that. He was happy that I wanted to play and prove. So I think there was a couple of teams my agent got on the phone, and Dunfermline, obviously they were one, and Queen's Park they were another one that were really interested. So yeah, it was kind of just my choice, and yeah, I'm thankful I made the right decision.
Agreed.
Yeah. So yeah, so you obviously joined from the January on. I think it was about the January onwards from that season. What was it about the club that made you want to join permanently?
It's the size of the club. Obviously the fan base. I was checking that stuff. I knew Queens Park didn't have a big fan base, and seeing you were getting 4 or 5 thousand. Even at the time, Dunfermline weren't playing well. They were struggling, kind of towards the bottom of the league. And I knew some of the players as well. Michael Haller and Aaron Comrie played with him. Joe Chalmers, played against him quite a lot, so I knew a lot of the boys, and also it wasn't too far away from me. I'm used to driving up to Perth, and it was kind of like half that way. So I thought, brilliant, it's just over the bridge and not far away. Great club, great history, good fan base. So I thought, yeah, it's the right choice for me. And I think it was the day maybe the day I agreed to sign. I think you just played Morton at home and got beat 5-0, and I thought, oh, was it 5-0 or
What
something?
have I
I
done?
thought, oh God, have I? But no, it was a one-off bad game for you, and yeah, I'm thankful that I joined.
And that kind of first season and a half, it felt like you were the talisman for the team. And I know certainly I've had conversations at the time thinking, if Chris Kane isn't playing, we're probably not getting much out of this game. So did you feel that pressure at all? Is that reflected come down to the player level, or was it just a case of, just doing your best on every game and not worrying about what it meant to the other players around you?
Nah, I wouldn't say it was pressure. Like, obviously, sometimes people look at you come from a Premiership team and you think that you're going to be the best player. Like, I'm not the best player. There was technically better players than me. I'll always admit that. So, yeah, I just knew that, and I knew I can score goals. I'd done it when I went to Dumbarton in the Championship. So I knew the league, like, so I knew it had changed, and it was a lot of years from there. But I knew that you get chances, and obviously if I get my chances, I need to take them. So thankfully I did. But at the same time, Craig White, and he was a great goal scorer for his. Another one that's had some bad injuries, so feel for him because I know how it feels. But yeah, I just had to come in, and James McPake gave me all the belief that I needed. He knew that I wasn't. I never had a good run of games before that, and I'd been injured. So he says, if you need a day off, just let me know. He was really good with me that way, and if I ever feel like I'm struggling a wee bit, just let him know. He'll give me that day off or give me a wee bit of rest and whatever. So yeah, he was actually brilliant with me when I came in, and that helped me kind of ease myself, especially with my knee. If I felt it would flare up, I would just tell him, and he was great.
There was definitely a lot of crucial goals you scored that season. One that sticks in my mind was the goal at Hampden against Queen's Park. But one of your more favourable games was the hat trick against Wraith, where it was probably I would say the best hat trick of all time.
No, it was a really obviously the Hampden goal was massive as well because it was such a important 3 points for us. But yeah, the Rafe game, don't think I'll top that. Um, Being 1-0 down and scoring a hat trick. No going to talk about the penalties. The pitch was a bit soggy and lost my footing. But yeah, 3 goals against your rivals, you can't complain with that.
And it was that season that the now gaffer Neil Lennon came in. Obviously things didn't work out as we all hoped under James McPake, but since Neil's come in, how have you found working under him?
Well, he's a top manager. He gets the best out of every single player, not just players on the pitch, but squad players as well. We've seen that when he's made all the changes. He knows how to get a team going and give you belief in every single game that you play. So yeah, it's been great playing under him and Bronny, Geordie as well. So it's a great like staff members to play under, and yeah, it's been obviously my game time at the start of the season was a bit limited. I think that was down to my calf injuries and stuff, and obviously bringing players in, whatever. So, but he would speak to me and tell me, like he told me at the start, you might not play as much as you did because players are coming in, whatever, and I just need to keep going. So, injuries happen, people get injured and stuff. So when I get my chance, so obviously I knew myself that I just had to take it and score as much as I can. And thankfully, from December onwards, I've done that.
You mentioned obviously from December onwards that you have been a mainstay in that team. Obviously, the league season is now over after the weekend. How would you summarise the season as a whole?
Um, I'll say we had quite a slow start. Lost too many games, which can really no affect you, but hurt your chances of pushing pushing for the top places. But I feel like yeah, toward the last 6 months of the season, I feel like we've been really steady. The back three, keeping the clean sheets helps us massively. It gives us that boost to, because you just need to kind of get a goal if the boys at the back are keeping clean sheets. So yeah, I'd say the slow start, but the towards the end of the season, I think we really pushed on and showed our quality and what we can do. And I think if we played like how we did the last part of the season, throughout the whole season, I think we really would have challenged up the top.
I think it bodes well for next season as well, which I think we're all looking forward to. Parking the league for a second, let's get to the elephant in the room. The cup run this year has been beyond probably most Pars fans' wildest expectations, and you've obviously played a huge part in that. Goals in the rounds against Kelty and Queen of the South, and obviously the performances as well against Aberdeen, Falkirk. Set up Ollie Thomas for his second goal in the Aberdeen tie. But I mean, it's probably hard to put into words, but summarising a cup run up to where we're at just now, you must be delighted with how it's gone.
Yeah, can't complain. You're in a Scottish Cup final. It's what you dream of as a kid. Yeah, so I think the early stages you always need to be bang on it as well, because these teams, that's their dreams as well. They want to make it as far as possible. So you never get an easy tie in the Scottish Cup. So we have to make sure that we're on it in the early stages. Obviously going one down to, is it Queen of South
Okay, so yeah.
first? So yeah, going one down to them, that can sometimes affect you as well. But thankfully we didn't, and yeah, I got my 2 goals there, which kind of kick-started me as well. So yeah, I was delighted with that. Get through to the next round, and was it Hibs after
Yeah,
Queen of
Hibs
South?
after
Yeah.
the Queen of South, yeah.
So there you get that massive tie, and that's kind of home tie as well. It's brilliant. Close to a sellout, I think it was, or if it was a sellout, and that's the games you want to play in these big games against the top teams, and just showed. Else I wasn't quite fit for that game, just missed it by a couple of days, so I was absolutely gutted. Grew up being a Hibs fan as well, so that was a game that I was really desperate to play in and score against them, because you always want to score against the teams that you support and stuff as well. So yeah, gutted I missed that, but the boys were absolutely outstanding to a man. And then I think that was after beating them, that's when you really thought like we can go on a run here and beat anyone, especially if we're at home.
And what about the Aberdeen game? Obviously, they played in that one, another full house at KDM Group East End Park. Must have been a special one to be a part of.
Yeah, it was great. It's another massive team. The Holders, they won it last year, so but again the manager, he was the one that gave us that belief, because he showed us, I think it was the day before or the morning of the game, he showed us their recent results and away from home, and how they were struggling to score goals. They hadn't scored in, I don't know if it's 6, 7, 8 games away from home. So he showed us clips how we can beat them, and he done his homework and gave us gave us that belief. And yeah, we done it. We switched to play, got him behind them, and that's how he told us that we can beat them. And I don't think anyone thought it would be a 3-0 game, but I think deep down the manager knew that we could have beat them 3-0.
Blew them away. And then, our other trip to Hampden this season, the Falkirk semi-final. Don't know if you coming in kind of knew much about the rivalry that exists between the two clubs, Chris, but playing at Hampden, huge travelling support from Dunfermline as well. And I thought, obviously, the result was the cherry on the cake, right?
Yeah, to be honest, I never knew too much about the rivalry, but I was soon taught about it. Learned that pretty quickly. So yeah, it was great to, even the league games against them. It was great to play them. Fans, like huge fan bases, both teams. So yeah, great to play against that. And I think that was the tie everyone was looking for in the semi. I know I was, because we knew on our day we could beat them, and we knew how much it meant to the fans. So if the fans are all buzzing for the game, it gives us that boost, because they're so loud and they come in the numbers like you said, and you could hear them from minute one, well, from even before the game to way after the game. Yeah, so beating them, it was huge, and it was kind of something that we didn't expect to get beat. We knew, obviously, beating Hibs, beating Aberdeen, that we could really go on and beat Falkirk. It's a shame we didn't get the goal before extra time. But even like extra time, I thought we were a better team by far. They kind of ran out of steam, and I thought we were excellent. And the penalty takers all having that confidence to go up and the belief to score the goals, and they all done it perfectly. And having a man like Big Ox in goals to stop them helps you as well.
And then obviously celebrating with the fans at the semi-final. That must have been a special moment. With you winning those trophies in COVID, you were unable to do that at Hampden. So getting this moment with a set of supporters must have been special for you and your teammates as well.
Yeah, it was great. It was probably the biggest attendance that some of the boys have played in front of. So yeah, special for them, but I'd say even more special for me because obviously not playing in front of fans during COVID, it really did put a damper on it. We lifting the trophy in front of a couple of photographers. That's all we had to celebrate in front of. So yeah, it was amazing. Seeing them all when we came out, I seen my family. I was actually getting emotional seeing them all after as well. So it was great having my missus, my mum, my dad, my brother, my sister, them all there. So yeah, that was something that I'll not forget either because just seeing their faces, but not even just them, like all the fans, seeing how much it meant to them to not just beat Falkirk to get into the Scottish Cup final it was incredible, and hopefully we can do one better.
You managed to celebrate a bit better than you did last time at Hampden, but you still were in the next day for recovery, so you still didn't get that full night out that you probably feel you're owed. So maybe on Saturday you'll get that chance, mate.
That's the plan for me anyway. I want to win the cup and go out and have a good few beers. That's
Good man.
that's what I want to do anyway.
Yeah, I think we're all with you there. So found the net quite a lot over the last sort of quarter of the season, Chris. I've noticed in the sort of club photos and stuff, you've got a new celebration for us. Is that the love heart with the fingers? Is that for your family, your daughter? I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's my daughter Hallie. She every time I leave in the car, she runs through to the dining room and she goes up to the window, and it started probably maybe a year or two ago. So when she was maybe 2, 3 year old, she'd go up to the window, she'd wave, she'd do the wee heart, blow me a kiss and stuff. So I used to have to do that every time I left. So when she started watching the games on TV, or if she was at the game, she'd want me to do a wee celebration. So I asked her what she wants, and then she told me she wanted me to do the wee heart for her. So yeah, that's for my daughter.
Brilliant.
And
That's what I
obviously
love to see.
recently,
Um,
sorry, Ricky, on you go.
no, I was thinking I was going to ask the same question as you, mate.
And obviously recently you've signed your contract extension, so you'll be staying with the club next season. Was it an easy decision to stay? And you must be enjoying your football as well.
Yeah, it was easy. Love the place, love everything about the club. And I want to be a part of what the club's trying to do as well. So yeah, it wasn't I didn't take any time at all to think about that. I knew that I wanted to be here. My agent spoke to John Colquhoun and David Cook, and it got sorted very quickly. So yeah, as soon as everything was confirmed, I was straight in signing it, and I was over the moon because, as I said, I want to be here and I love everything about the club.
Yeah, it's really exciting times around the club at the moment. One last kind of thought on Saturday's game. I know you'll not want to kind of say too much about predictions or anything like that, but we've got to go into that, you know, with the expectation that we can lift the trophy. We're obviously not the favourites by any matter, but what's the kind of preparation and build up like for you and the rest of the guys in the dressing room?
Yeah, well, first of all, we all believe that we can win it. I think if you don't believe you're going to win it, you shouldn't be playing in it. So yeah, we all believe that we can win it. We've beat three Premiership teams already, so what's one more? Yeah, we've had quite a chilled week this week, but at the same time, during training, the manager still wants the standards there, and you have to train proper and do everything right because at the end of the day, the game on Saturday is going to be probably the biggest game in our career so far. So yeah, we're training proper, but um, we've just obviously got a day off tomorrow, but we'll be back in Thursday, Friday, and that's when the preparation and the tactics and all come in. And yeah, that's obviously we're all buzzing and just can't wait really.
You've been fitted for your suit. You ready for the cup final?
Yeah, we got fitted a couple of weeks ago, so that's all. That's all in the. I think Monty's sorting all that out, so it's a bit stressful for her, but we just need to get fitted and then that's ours. But no, it's always good getting fitted for suits. I've still got my well, COVID season we didn't get suits, so we were just track suits. But I got a suit for the 2014 one because I still got to go away with the team. They took me away we stayed away in a hotel, so I've still got my St Johnstone 2014 one. Don't think I'll fit in that now, but um, that's still there, just memories and stuff. So yeah, I'll be keeping this one no matter what anyway.
Chris, I think on behalf of me, Logan, every other Pals fan listening, I wish you and the rest of the guys the very best of luck on Saturday. We'll be there cheering you on, and no matter what, we'll hopefully get a beer after it.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Just before we let you go, Chris, a bit of a fun feature that we do with a few of the boys. A five-a-side team of players that you've played with. Now, you can pick any formation you want. You don't have to pick a goalkeeper. Just don't do a Robbie Fraser and pick six players.
Sums him up to be fair. Oh God, like I'll go goalie because I think you need a solid goalie. Big Xander Clark was huge for St Johnstone, especially in
Just on
that year that
Xander
he won
Clark,
it.
did he try and steal that goal off you at Ibrox? Because was that your goal?
It was my goal. It hit me before it went over the line, but see at the time, like no one cared. I didn't care. We all ran away celebrating. I think it was 122nd minute equaliser at Ibrox, um, to take him to penalty. So yeah, nobody really cared. But after the game, I did tell him that it was my goal, and
Quite right. Quite right. Well, you're even now that you've picked him for your favourite five-a-side team. That's level one.
yeah. So but Big Xander in goals. That's a tough one. I've played with that many boys. I think Jason Kerr was solid at the back for St Johnstone as well. He played with him for years and years and travelled in with him in the car show for years. So I think he's probably my defender. Um, I'll go. It's a tough one. It's hard to think. Played with Stephen Dobie at Queen South. He was incredible. I can't even remember how old he was at the time. But what he could do with the ball and take it past these younger players that were twice the speed of him he was incredible. So I put Stephen Dobie in. I think I need to put James McFadden in because the career that he's had and set me up for my first St Johnstone goal. He's gone in. And then I think I don't know much. Ali McCann, he was brilliant. But I think he's obviously kicked on a bit now. So at
Yeah.
the time he maybe wasn't in his prime. So
Still was part of
uh,
that cup winning team though.
yeah, he was. But David Wallaceman was also part of that, and he's another player that I've played with for years. Played with him at Dunfermline, and the talent that he had was incredible as well. What he could do, his feet and the assists that he got, the goals he scored. So playing at World Cup, not many players have done that.
Yeah.
So probably put him in as well.
I think defenders would struggle against a front three of Wotherspoon, McFadden, and Dobie in a five-a-side. Five-a-side, it
Yeah, it's
depends on
Uh,
how
not a
you
just
bad
feel.
attack.
Jason and Xander just keeping it all out, but I think not too bad a team to be honest.
Perfect, Chris. Perfect. Thank you for joining us this evening, Chris. It's been good chatting with you. Ricki, a pleasure as always. This has been
Cheers,
the
mate.
Inside Athletic podcast. Thank you for listening once again, and we'll see you all at the cup final on Saturday. Cheers.